The concept of romanticism has led us to believe that we must follow our hearts when it comes to matters of the heart. As a result, it is often difficult to explain why we fall in love with certain people and not others. Adoring someone is a wonderful experience because their beauty, both inside and out, has the special ability to bring joy into our lives. The idea of romantic attitude is one that was intended to bring happiness and end the cycle of arranged marriages. It is believed to be a much kinder, warmer way of finding and developing relationships. The concept of trusting one's instincts is often thought to be wise, but has unfortunately led to disastrous results in regards to our judgments of people we meet at nightclubs, train stations, parties, and websites. This idea of a romantic connection can be deceiving. Consequently, there is no evidence that the artistic expression of Ali's celebration has made us feel any more joyous in our marriages compared to a medieval couple. Our society has often compelled us to get married due to their interest in preserving the sovereignty of ancestral land. This has left us with little choice but to marry out of practicality and not out of love. This approach, unfortunately, doesn't provide the quality of connection that comes from true love. Alternatively, psychotherapy-inspired beliefs suggest that our instincts can't always be trusted to guide us to relationships that make us happy. This idea suggests that love does not come from those who are perfectly understanding and supportive, but rather from those who show care and compassion in a unique way. We develop strong feelings for people who care for us in ways we're familiar with, and these relationships can vary greatly. Our ideas of healthy and balanced love as adults are largely based on our experiences while growing up. Those early attachments often shape the types of relationships we form, which can affect our well-being and prevent us from reaching our fullest potential. As adults, the feeling of being content may appear to be derived from love, but in reality we are looking for a sense of familiarity. We are looking to recreate within our adult relationships the very feelings we knew so well in childhood and which were rarely limited to just tenderness and care. The love many of us would have tasted early on was confused with other perhaps more destructive dynamics, feelings of wanting to help an adult who was out of control or of being deprived of a parent's warmth or scared of his or her anger or of not feeling secure enough to communicate our trickier wishes. How logical then that we should as adults find ourselves rejecting certain candidates, not because they're wrong for us, but because they're a little too right in the sense of seeming somehow excessively balanced, mature, understanding, and reliable. Given that in our hearts such rightness feels foreign and unearned to choose our partners wisely, we need to tease out how certain compulsions to suffering may be playing themselves out in our feelings of attraction. A useful starting place is to ask ourselves, perhaps in the company of a large sheet of paper or a pen and a free afternoon, what sort of people in the abstract put us off and what kinds excite us, to try to trace back qualities to the people who first loved us in childhood, and to ask ourselves how much our impulses really are aligned with things that might make us happy. We could stand to discover, for example, that slightly distant and sadistic people do always seem more interesting to us than the so-called nice ones that should make us stop and think. Our honestly described reactions are legacies. They are revealing underlying assumptions we've acquired about what love for us can feel like. We may start to get a clearer picture that our vision of what we are looking for in another person might not be an especially good guide to our personal happiness. Examining our emotional histories, we learn that we can't just be attracted to anyone. We are limited in the types we have because of certain things that happened to us in our past. Even if we can't always radically shift these patterns, it's useful to know that we're carrying a ball and chain. It can make us more careful of ourselves when we feel overwhelmed by a certainty that we've met the one after just a few minutes chatting at the bar, or when we're certain someone is just wrong or boring, even though objectively they do have a lot going for them. Ultimately, we stand to be liberated to love different people to our initial types. When we find that the qualities we like and the ones we very much fear can be found in different constellations from those we encountered in the people who first taught us about affection long ago. In a childhood we should strive to understand and in many ways free ourselves from.